What are you even doing here? You were uninvited. My son's bride snapped, her voice dripping with shock and anger. The nerve. After I spent months planning, saving, and paying for every detail of this wedding. I just smiled sweetly, adjusted my pearls, and said, I'm leaving, but first meet my special guest. The moment she saw who was standing behind me, her face went pale, and she collapsed right onto the polished marble floor. If you're watching this, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from, because what happened next, no one saw coming. This isn't just a wedding story. It's a tale of deception, revenge, and a mother's love like you've never seen. My name is Margaret Maggie Sullivan, and I'm 68 years old. I live in a cozy lakefront home in Syracuse, New York, surrounded by memories of a life I've built with love and care. I lost my husband, Frank Sullivan, 8 years ago. Heart attack. Fast. Painful. He left me alone with our son, Ryan, who was 25 at the time. Losing Frank felt like losing a part of myself, but I had to stay strong for Ryan, for our family. I spent the years after raising Ryan with unwavering devotion, running my little antique shop downtown, and trying to create a life that Frank would have been proud of. I never remarried. Frank had been my life, my anchor. Every scraped knee, every late night heart-to-heart, every milestone. I was there, guiding him, protecting him, loving him. Now Ryan is about to marry, and while I couldn't be prouder of the man he's become, kind, smart, and driven, I can't ignore the nagging feeling that trouble is lurking just around the corner. Ryan called me one Sunday afternoon, practically bouncing off the walls with excitement. Mom, you're gonna love her. She's amazing. You have to meet Samantha Reed. Samantha. Golden hair that shimmered in the sunlight, hazel eyes that sparkled too brightly, and a smile so perfect it could have been in a toothpaste commercial. Sweet. Innocent. Way too good to be true. When she arrived, I kept my smile polite. Hi, Mrs. Sullivan, she said, voice dripping honey. I've heard so much about you. Ryan says you're the heart of this family. I nodded slowly. That's sweet, Samantha. Would you like some tea? She giggled lightly, so perfectly timed it made my skin crawl. She told flawless stories about overcoming a rough childhood, her work as a marketing consultant, and volunteering with charities. Ryan hung on every word, practically glued to her side. I tried to be happy for him, but something felt off. The first red flag hit later that day. I went by Ryan's apartment to drop off some paperwork for his company. From the bedroom I heard her voice, sharp, clipped, almost sneering. Marcus, I told you not to call that number. No, I don't care if the old lady's buying everything. I'll get what I want, just like always. My stomach dropped. Old lady? Buying everything? Who was Marcus? Then I heard her, clearly this time. She's obsessed with her little mama's boy. Once I marry him, all those accounts are mine. Every dime. I'll be gone before anyone even notices. I pressed against the wall, frozen. My hair felt like fire under my scalp. I could feel my hands trembling, but I forced myself to stay quiet. Every word she said sliced through me like ice. This woman wasn't sweet. She wasn't innocent. She was dangerous. Ryan didn't see it yet, but someday he would. And when that day came, Samantha Reed would regret underestimating me. I couldn't shake the words I'd overheard in Ryan's apartment. Old lady obsessed, accounts every dime. My gut told me Samantha wasn't who she claimed to be. But I needed proof. Solid proof. I remembered my old friend Angela Pierce, retired FBI cybercrime investigator. Smart, relentless, no nonsense. I called her that evening. Angela, it's Maggie, I said, my voice tight. I need your help. I think my son's girlfriend isn't who she claims to be. Maggie, give me everything, Angela said. Names, dates, numbers, anything that might help. Over 2 weeks, Angela worked her magic. Public records, news articles, social media footprints. Every trail pointed to the same person. She's not Samantha Reed, Angela said grimly when we spoke over the phone one evening. Her real name is Cassandra Vale. Known con artist. 2 arrests for fraud in California, 1 in Texas. She manipulates men into giving her access to their assets. She's good, very good, at playing the perfect partner. My hands shook. Knees weak. She's going to destroy Ryan, I whispered. Angela leaned back on the phone. She always works with someone. Did you hear that name when you were at the apartment? I remembered Marcus, Cassandra's accomplice. Getting his number wasn't easy. Cassandra had been careful, burner phones, encrypted accounts, fake names. But Angela's old FBI contacts traced one of her old emails to a number Marcus had used. I stared at the number for a long moment before dialing. Marcus Ibarra? I said. Firm. Calm. Controlled. Yes, who's this? His tone was cautious, wary. I'm Margaret Sullivan, Ryan's mother. And I know exactly what Cassandra Vale is planning. There was silence. Then, why are you calling me? Because you're the only one who can stop her with me, I said. My voice softened, sincere. Look, I'm not here to blame you. I'm not here to make enemies. But she's going to ruin my son, his life, his heart, everything. You know her. You know what she's capable of. Help me stop her and I promise you won't get dragged into this the wrong way. We do it smart, clean. He hesitated. I could hear it, the struggle between loyalty, fear, and logic. You're asking a lot, he finally said. I know, I said, letting my tone crack just a little like I was pleading. But it's my son. And I will do whatever it takes. If you help me, we make sure she gets nothing. Not a cent. Not a step near Ryan. And you walk away safely. No risk. You have my word. A long pause. Then. All right. I'm in. But Maggie, if she even smells what we're doing. She won't, I said firmly. Not while I'm breathing. We do this my way. We had an alliance. Not for revenge. Not for money. For my son. For his future. And I promised myself, Cassandra Vale would regret underestimating a mother who refused to lose her child. Just when I thought I had the upper hand, Cassandra didn't know I had a secret ally. My son's fiancée, the woman he adored, was a master manipulator, and she had no idea her plan was about to unravel. But the day before the wedding, something happened. Late that evening, my phone rang. The name on the screen read Samantha. I answered calmly. Hello. Her voice on the other end wasn't sweet anymore. It was cold. Margaret, she said flatly. I'm calling to tell you something, and I need you to listen carefully. I felt my stomach tighten. Go ahead. You are not coming to the wedding tomorrow. For a moment I thought I heard her wrong. I'm sorry. I asked quietly. You heard me, she snapped. You're not invited anymore. Ryan doesn't need you hovering around ruining our day. Honestly, you're embarrassing. My fingers tightened around the phone. Samantha, this is my son's wedding. She laughed sharply. Exactly. My wedding now. And I don't want some pathetic old woman ruining the pictures. So do us both a favor and stay home. Then the line went dead. I sat there in silence for a long time. But I still showed up the next day. Because no one keeps a mother away from her son. The wedding day arrived. The wedding was set at a stunning riverside estate in Charleston, South Carolina. Spanish moss draped the live oaks. The river shimmered in the afternoon sun. And the air smelled of fresh flowers and expensive perfume. Ryan stood near the front greeting guests, glowing with happiness, completely unaware of what had been happening behind his back. Samantha in front of everyone looked flawless. Designer gown. Perfect hair. A dazzling smile. To everyone else, she was the perfect bride. But I knew the truth. I stayed near the back of the ballroom, quietly sipping tea, pretending to be just another polite guest. Calm on the outside. But inside, my heart was beating like thunder. Then suddenly, her eyes locked on me. And I watched the mask fall. Ryan's phone had rung. He glanced at it, excused himself, and left the hall. She marched straight toward me, heels clicking sharply against the marble floor. Guests nearby slowly stopped talking, sensing tension in the air. She leaned close, her voice dripping with anger. "What the hell are you doing here?" she hissed. I stayed silent. "I told you yesterday," she snapped louder now. "You are not invited." A few guests turned their heads. Her face twisted with irritation. "You really have no shame, do you?" she said bitterly. "Showing up anyway like some desperate old woman." Then she said it loudly enough for everyone around us to hear. "You're uninvited, you pathetic old lady." The room went quiet. Every pair of eyes turned toward us. I felt the humiliation burn in my chest. My hands trembled slightly, but I didn't react. Not for her. For my son. I simply looked at her calmly and said softly, "That's all right. I'll leave." Then I added gently, "But first meet my special guest." Confusion flashed across her face. Before she could respond, Ryan walked back into the ballroom. One of his friend's sisters, Chelsea, quickly stepped toward him and whispered urgently in his ear, "Ryan, did you hear what your bride just said to your mom?" Ryan blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" Chelsea lowered her voice. "She asked your mom what she was doing here, said she was uninvited, and called her a pathetic old lady, right in front of everyone." Ryan's face went completely pale. He slowly turned toward Cassandra. "You called my mom what?" he asked, his voice shaking. Cassandra's confident smile vanished instantly. I was joking," she stammered nervously. "Baby, don't be mad." "Joking?" Ryan shouted. The entire ballroom froze. "You insulted my mom? After everything she's done for me?" His voice cracked with anger. "And you told her she's uninvited from her own son's wedding? The wedding she paid for?" Cassandra tried to reach for him. "Ryan, please. Apologize," he said coldly. She froze. "Right now." Her eyes darted toward me nervously. Finally she muttered, "I'm sorry." Ryan's jaw tightened. "Not good enough." His voice dropped, firm and serious. "You knew exactly what you were doing. Apologize properly." Her lips trembled. I apologize," she said quietly. "Mrs. Sullivan, I never should have said that. I'm sorry." I nodded slowly. Then I smiled gently. "It's all right," I said softly. "I'll leave just like you asked." Ryan opened his mouth to speak, but I lifted my hand gently to stop him. "But first," I said calmly, "meet my special guest." Ryan frowned. "Mom, what are you talking about?" I looked at him with love. "Give it 2 minutes, sweetheart. Then you'll understand everything." Right on cue, the ballroom doors opened. Marcus stepped inside, and behind him 2 federal agents. The badges on their belts gleamed under the chandelier lights. Cassandra turned toward them, and the color drained from her face. Her knees buckled. She collapsed to the floor. One of the agents stepped forward. "Cassandra Vale," he said firmly. "You are under arrest for fraud and identity theft." Gasps exploded across the room. Ryan turned toward me in shock. "Mom, what's happening? Who is Cassandra?" I gently took his hands. "Ryan," I said softly, "I need to tell you the truth." I explained everything, the lies, the phone call I overheard, the investigation, Marcus, and the evidence. Marcus confirmed every detail. Ryan stood there stunned as the truth sank in. Then he squeezed my hand tightly. "I'm here," I told him gently. "I will always be here. No one is ever going to hurt you like that." Behind us, Cassandra screamed and struggled as the agents took her away. But it was over. My son had been saved from heartbreak, humiliation, and losing everything he had. The room slowly filled with whispers, then applause. Ryan looked at me with tears in his eyes, and I smiled, 'cause sometimes being a mother means standing in the storm and making sure your child never gets wet. The wedding was canceled, but Ryan kept the reception for family and friends. Later, he found me near the balcony. "Mom," he said, voice quiet, "thank you for being strong when I couldn't see it, for protecting me even when it hurt." I smiled. "That's what moms are for, Ryan. Just promise me one thing." "Anything," he said. "Never let anyone treat you, or anyone you love, like that again." He nodded, hugging me tight. "I won't, Mom. I promise." Months later, Ryan met someone new. Honest, kind, and real. He checked her background. He introduced her to me first. And I felt relief. Peace. I held my late husband Frank's watch in my hand and whispered, "We did it, honey. We kept him safe." Honey, let me tell you something I learned the hard way. Life doesn't always show people for who they really are. Some wear smiles, but inside, well, that's another story. A mother's love isn't just hugs or cookies. It's watching, protecting, and sometimes standing up when everyone else thinks you shouldn't. I trusted my gut, stayed alert, and didn't let anyone harm my boy. That's what love really is, fierce and fearless. And remember, it's never too late to fight for the people you love. Age doesn't matter. Courage, care, and a little stubbornness. That's what protects hearts and futures. So always trust your instincts, keep your eyes open, and never let anyone take what matters most from you. That's the lesson, sweetheart. That's life. If you enjoyed hearing my story, sweetheart, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so I can share more tales with you. Give this video a like if it touched your heart, and I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment telling me what you would have done in my place.